happy to speak with Iddo Gino, the CEO and founder of RapidAPI, our portfolio company of Viola Growth 3.
Thanks for having me, and very nice to be here at the conference today.
We first invested in RapidAPI in the midst of COVID-19 a couple of years ago as part of our access strategy. Since then, the company has grown tremendously and recently closed a $150 million financing round, bringing it to a $1 billion valuation. So let's kick it off with a short description of what RapidAPI is doing and how the API economy trend is impacting the company.
Yeah, so RapidAPI is the world's largest API hub, helping millions of developers to discover and connect to public APIs. Now, just to take a step backwards here and talk through what APIs are, APIs, or application programming interfaces, are services that developers connect into when they're building their apps. So think about an app like Uber, for instance. When you go and build the app, there's a lot of functionality that you need to bake into it. You need the map to show where the drivers and cars are. You need text messaging to be able, or push notifications to notify when your car's arriving. You need credit card processing to actually get the payment for the ride, and something like an email provider to actually send the email receipt after the ride. Now, you could go and develop all that functionality from scratch, but that takes a lot of time and costs a lot of money and would essentially slow you down. What APIs do, they're essentially providing those bits of functionality as services that developers can embed into their applications. So you get a SMS API, a credit card processing API, a push notification API, and they enable you to accelerate development by just buying all those services ready-made. So APIs are essentially the building blocks for modern software. And RapidAPI is where developers come to find those APIs, so discovery, to evaluate them, and then to connect and manage the APIs that they're using.
Great, thank you. So knowing that you have both self-serve marketplace as well as an enterprise hub product, can you tell us what are the challenges and opportunities of going down market and up market simultaneously?
Yeah, so we've taken an interesting journey with RapidAPI where we started by creating a self-service product-led growth marketplace that caters to individual developers that are discovering and using APIs, and then went a lot upstream from there, catering to teams and now larger Fortune 500 organizations that have hundreds of APIs that they're using. And it's been an interesting approach, kind of differs from the classic enterprise sales, let's create an enterprise product and go sell it to kind of Fortune 500 executives. I think it gives us a superpower because it helps us build a lot of empathy for our core users, the developers, and build a product that caters to them directly. And there is definitely a great shift now with enterprise purchasing, where companies care a lot, not just about the enterprise-grade products, but also about having products that their users actually want to use. That's where you see the birth of the Notions and Slacks and Figmas of the world. The risk with it is when you actually go into the enterprise, making sure that you don't end up bifurcating or creating two very different products and product roadmaps. And that's something that's been a constant challenge for us. But I think that done well, our kind of grassroots-led adoption and developer-led adoption into the enterprise is going to empower and enable us to become a really transformative company in the API space.
Your recent fundraising puts you as a new unicorn. What was the major value driver for RapidAPI over the past year?
So over the last year, we've seen two huge trends that have propelled us forward. The first one is a huge transition to digital, and a very accelerated transition to digital. Companies are looking to very quickly adapt their businesses and their ways of working to a digital-first world, and that necessitates developing software a lot more quickly and developing a lot more software. So there's a lot of investment in software and digital transformation on the one side. On the other side, however, you have the huge resignation and a very big shortage in developers. So you have a lot more demand for software and a pretty flat, constant supply of developers. And that necessitates everyone to think about how they can be more productive and efficient with their software developments. And APIs are a great way to do that. So we've seen companies in every vertical and every size pushing a lot more to using APIs to accelerate their development cycles.
And now for the last question. Can you share with us what our RapidAPI plan for the short term as well as the long term?
So right now, we kind of sit, again, at that nexus of the API economy, empowering developers to discover and connect to APIs, so connecting the producers and consumers of APIs. But over time, we want to offer more services and solutions for developers that are working on APIs, and over time, become that essentially the operating system for the API economy. We've been doing that through adding more value and more points in the API creation lifecycle either in form of acquisition or products that we've developed ourselves. And I think we're going to keep doing a lot more of that over the next few years.
Iddo, it's been great speaking with you. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Tel Aviv soon.
Thank you. Hope to be there soon.